Welcome to Slapshot Podcast, episode number 96. I'm your host, Christopher Morais. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Welcome into December. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus, whatever you celebrate. We are midway through December here. Lots of things are happening in the hockey world. Lots of things are happening to the Montreal Canadiens, so I decided to wear my Montreal Canadiens Santa hat here because I have a couple of things I would like to ask Santa Claus for Christmas for the Montreal Canadiens. That's what I would like. We got it. Listen, jam-packed show today. Lots of great things. As always, if you are new here, you found yourself in here by accident, I appreciate you being here, by the way. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead, hit the sub button, ring the bell. All right. Maybe you found this podcast audio version. Maybe that's what you enjoy. You're listening to this on the way to work, in the shower, on the toilet, wherever you enjoy listening to podcasts. Go ahead, follow there, whether it's on Spotify, whether it's on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, wherever. Please go ahead, follow, leave a review. If you don't know where to find the podcast, you're like, hey man, Chris, help me out in the future, you can head over to X, right? Slapshot Podcast has its own page. You can go there, hit the link tree. You can see everywhere you get it. You want more opinions from me because you're like, man, Chris, I just want to hear more from you, right? There's maybe like 2 people in the world. But if there's a third, you can follow me on X at FuzzyChris91. So, like I said, lots of things we got to talk about today. I had everything lined up to go, and then I scrapped it all because the NHL gods had different plans for me. They had different plans. I woke up to it, and I was like, well, start again. So here we are. Before we get into that, though, we're going to get into some breaking news. All right, there's lots of things breaking. All right, some good, some not so good. So yes, let's get straight to the breaking news here. One, congratulations to Andrei Markov and the tribute that the Montreal Canadiens had for him. If you were hoping to watch it on Sportsnet, you did not see it because Sportsnet is the worst. Instead, they wanted to talk about the Jets for an extended period of time instead of showing the tribute. And I'm like, thanks, man. It's not like any of us wanted to see it. First of all, I think this was a Wednesday game, if it's possible, which means it was Wednesday Night Hockey on Sportsnet. This would have been on TSN, then we would have been fine. If you wanted to watch it in French, RDS obviously had it. Just shame on Sportsnet in every way, shape, or form. I wish I didn't have to watch Habs hockey on Sportsnet. It would be my dream. That's what I would ask for Christmas. That's what I want, to never have to watch just hockey in general on Sportsnet. I wish I could get it anywhere else, but we're not there yet. Let's see what Santa's elves can kick up. Speaking of what Santa's elves can do here, the Olympic ice, I don't know if you've heard about it, but in Italy, they're coming down to the clock here. They've also found out that the NHL ice rink that they built is short. It's about 6 inches short. Sorry, not 6 inches, 6 feet. Yeah. I think it's 6 feet short. Yes. Now, I know some people are like, hey, man, that's not much. And I'm like, buddy, every inch matters, okay? Every inch matters. So, I don't know listen, the expectation is that the ice is going to be ready. I hope so. Because Bill Daly has just come out and be like, hey, man, if it's not safe, the players just don't play. And I'm like, hold on, Bill. Like, calm down, right? We haven't had NHL players at the Olympics in forever, okay? Let's calm down. Let's find. They're like, we have no plan B. And I was like, you guys didn't really put anything together. Now, the expectation is that the ice will be ready by February 2nd. And then the women open up on February 5th. So not a lot of time to figure out if that ice rink and all the little kinks in it are good. But again, that's what I'm asking Santa for, to make sure that the ice is fine. And I get it. Listen, I'm sure most of the players will say the same thing. They could care less how big, how short it is. Everybody's got to play the same way. I just don't know how this happens. You send over dimensions to engineers, and then they were just like, we'll do it our way. It doesn't really matter. I also found out, since when are we not playing on international ice? Internationally. Right? Like if it was a couple of feet short for like an international ice rink, you'd be like, all right, it doesn't matter, right? International ice is already bigger. It's wider, right? It's not necessarily longer, but it's wider. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know how we got to this point. But again, that's my ask for Christmas, is to make sure that the NHL players do indeed partake in the Olympics, because that's what I want to see. I want to see the best on best. We were teased at the Four Nations. We deserve, the fans, we deserve to have the best be represented on the biggest stage in the world. So that's what I'm looking for. Speaking of things I'm looking forward to here, it is announced that the Canadiens will participate in the next Heritage Classic, which will be in Winnipeg on October 26th. Montreal Canadiens get an outdoor game. It's not in Montreal, but listen, I'll take it. I will take it. This is also a PSA. If you live in and or around the Winnipeg area and you would like to let me sleep on your couch, let me know. I might have to sell a kidney if I want to be in attendance for this one. But, like, honestly, who needs two kidneys? Right? I have been to a winter class. I went to a winter classic. Sorry. I didn't go to a Heritage Classic, which tomato kind of thing for me. But last one was the one in Foxborough. Montreal played Boston. It was a great time, man. I had a great time. That was 2016, January 1st, 2016. I mean, I feel like it's been almost like, you know what I mean? Like over 10 years. I think I'm due to go back again, right? I was doing the math too, by the way. Yeah, I was 25. So I feel like it would be a good time to go back. I just got to figure out how I'm going to get my hands on some of those tickets. Like, who do I have to be friends with? If you are somebody who could get your hands on it, listen, do a brother a solid right here, okay? Let me know. That's what I'm asking Santa for as well. I got a long list of things I'm asking Santa for today. If he could deliver that's the one I want him to deliver on the most. Pair of Heritage Classic tickets would make me happy. And finally, this was just fun. This is just fun fact. Alex Ovechkin this season has started 0 shifts in the defensive zone. 0. He has not started a shift in the defensive zone. I didn't believe it first when I saw it. This, courtesy of Money Puck, they tweeted it out, and I was like, hey, no way. Not one. Sure, lo and behold, not one. 0%. If that faceoff is in the defensive zone, Ovi ain't there. He's like, no, what defense? Ain't no way. So that was a fun one. Maybe, like, what would you think? Do you think if I put the over-under on, like, 0.5 shifts in the defensive zone, do you think Spencer Carberry at some point will force Ovechkin to play a defensive shift? Ovi is, at his age now, which he has earned, by the way, it's all gas, man. He's out there to do one thing, that's put the puck in the back of the net. And they get him as close to the net as they possibly can. He's out there to score goals, right? He's not there to play defense. It's not his job. Literally, not his job. He's just not there. So, man, shout out to Ovi. What an absolute legend. Further proves that you don't have to play defense to be the best goal scorer in NHL history. Just get me closer to the net, man. Come on. That is absolutely fantastic. So that is the news, right? If you've missed it, now you're all up to date. Now we're going to get to what's most important. Because maybe you don't even know yet. Maybe I'm breaking the news to you, which is like, get your notifications up. You know what I mean? It's 2025, almost 2026. I shouldn't be breaking any of the news to you guys, okay? But maybe you haven't heard. But the Montreal Canadiens took another beating at the hands of the Tampa Bay Lightning. And they decided to make some moves, right? They got a short, I think it's 2-game road trip before they come. So they play Thursday in Pittsburgh. I think they play Saturday in New York. They also play Sunday back-to-back Saturday and Sunday, all December. I don't know who the Montreal Canadiens brass pissed off at the NHL schedule makers, but back-to-backs all weekend for a team that's not playing well defensively, that's not good. That's not good. So they decided to recall some players, as they do sometimes when they go on these short trips, right? They're banged up. They need some guys when they go away, right? Adam Engstrom was called up. So he made his NHL debut earlier in the season. I thought he was fine. I thought he was good, right? Again, when you bring Engstrom up, you're not bringing him up just so he can sit on the bench there. He's probably going to take the spot of either Arbor Xhekaj or Jaden Struble at some point on that trip. I don't think both those players play in all those in those two games. So Owen Beck was also called up. I think that's more of a, how can I put it, like an insurance policy. I don't know if Owen Beck's going to play any of those games. Maybe somebody comes out. Maybe, Jared Davidson comes out of the lineup. It's fine. It's okay. It's not gonna be Joe Veleno. It's not. No, it's not. Because he's the only left-handed centerman on the team, so he's got to be out there, right? But this was the most interesting call-up, and that is Jacob Fowler has been called up by the Montreal Canadiens. So he is here, and the time it looks like the Montreal Canadiens have maybe pressed the panic button, maybe just a little bit here. But Jacob Fowler's coming up, and listen, he, like Engstrom, he's not coming up here to, sit in the gallery. All right, that's not what you're doing here. He's not coming to sit in the gallery. How poetic would it be if Fowler gets his first NHL start against the Pittsburgh Penguins? Now, the last time a Montreal Canadiens goalie got their first career start against the Pittsburgh Penguins, he turned out pretty good. His name was Carey Price. That was okay. Do you know the goalie before him to get his first career start against the Pittsburgh Penguins? I'll give you a minute so you can think about it. Correct. Patrick Waugh. So I think the company here is pretty good. Now, here's what I will say about this. I am of the belief, and I know others share this opinion, like Fowler should remain in the AHL and work on his craft. It's just what it is, right? Bringing him up now to this team with the way they're playing defensively, you're setting this kid up to fail, and that is tough. But at the same time, I want to see what he can do for this team, and I want to see how it lights a fire under Jacob Dobes and Samuel Montembeault, because let's be honest, it has not been good for them. It has not been good. Like, Dobes has come down a little bit to earth here. That's fine. I get it. Even in that game yesterday against Tampa Bay, like, that first goal, you could tell he was out of position. Fine. The rest of it, like, what do you want him to do, right? What do you want him to do? The Montreal Canadiens, the defensive structure falls apart, and they give up grade A chances, and good teams bury chances, right? It is what it is, right? Like, it wasn't his fault, right? He got the mercy pull. Here comes Samuel Montembeault, who actually played worse, right? It hasn't been good. This is how bad it's been for the Montreal Canadiens' current goaltending situation, okay? So all this data, again, courtesy of the good folks over at Money Puck, okay? We're going to talk about goals saved above expected, okay? This is what a goalie, the number of goals he's given up, what they calculate he should have given up, and then if you're like the standard, the median is 0, right? If you're at 0, you're giving up the amount of goals they expect you to. If you're the positive, you're saving more than you should. If you're the negative, you're giving up more than you should. I think this chart here, if you're listening, I'm sorry. But Jacob Dobes, his goal saved above expected is 0.1. He's basically regressed to the mean, right? It's been tough for him. I get it. He's regressed. Let's be honest. But he was playing out of his mind. And now he's come back to being, where he should be. The problem is his team is providing him no help, right? The real concern here is with Samuel Montembeault, because as you can see, it's not getting better, it's getting worse. His goal saved above expected is minus 6.3. That's not good. And now the Montreal Canadiens, by calling up Fowler, we have returned to the dreaded 3-goalie monster, at least for a short time. And I know Samuel Montembeault was battling some illness over the weekend and whatnot. So maybe this would be a good opportunity to, let Sam just completely rest. Be like, hey, man, we're going on the road. Just rest. Right? It's not ideal in practice to have 3 goalies on the ice. No goalie will tell you that they enjoy having 2 other goalies on the ice with them, right? The 3-goalie monster, we saw this when Jake Allen and Caden Primo were in town. It hasn't worked, but neither one of these goalies have put themselves in a situation to prevent this from happening. So Fowler's going to show up here, and things are going to happen, okay? I know, I'm saying words that you're like, hey, really? Is that it? To me, this will spark the goaltending, right? The Montreal Canadiens need a save. Sometimes you just need a save. And Fowler's going to get every opportunity to do so. These are Jacob Fowler's numbers in the AHL, okay? Now, again, AHL numbers do not translate into NHL numbers, okay? I think we understand that. Jacob Fowler is also a young goalie, okay? If you're expecting him to come up here and save the Montreal Canadiens, boy, do I have a beachfront property for you in the middle of Saskatchewan with your name on it, okay? We know from experience that it is tough to be a goalie in the NHL. I don't think I'm telling you something you haven't heard. And goalies take time to develop, even the ones that end up in the Hall of Fame. Not just talking about Carey Price, talking about Marc-Andre Fleury. We're talking about the Penguins. Remember his start to his career? It was tough. It's tough for a goalie because it's such a technical position and the development just takes longer, right? Even if you had a great rookie campaign, Dustin Wolf was off to he to me was the runner-up for Rookie of the Year behind Lane Hudson. He was. That's who I would have picked to go to. And look at him this year. It hasn't been great. Now, again, he's playing on a pretty bad team, but his metrics are not great. And it's tough to be a young goalie in the NHL. This is the best league in the world with the best players. So it's tough. Now, Jacob Fowler in the AHL has done his part. Okay? He's got a 10-5 record. Okay? 2.09 goals against average, .919 save percentage, 3 shutouts. Pretty good. Are the Laval Rocket a good team? Yes, they are. But Fowler's done his part. Okay? He's done his part. Has he earned this call-up? Yes. But he is being thrown to the wolves here. I would personally want him to stay in the AHL and develop his craft. But we got to, and here's why I think it's a little bit of a panic. The Montreal Canadiens and management, they've been very on brand with saying, hey, we don't deviate from the plan. We trust the process. Keep going. Having Fowler in the NHL this season is not part of the plan. I can guarantee you that. It's not part of the plan. But they need something to happen. This, to me, means management believes that the team needs a wake-up call, and it starts in goal. That's what it means to me. And that they believe that they don't want this season to go to waste. They've put themselves in a good position, right? The Montreal Canadiens are in a good position. It's a very tight Atlantic division. So the problem is if you start losing too many games in a row, you could fall out of it pretty quick. So you want to keep pace with the other teams. You also don't want to lose to division teams, because then it's a 4-point swing, basically. So going to get Fowler at least lights a fire under the other goaltenders. And here's what I'll say. I know the conversations are around Marty St. Louis have been tough right now. If you're on the internet. I know Marty's not on the internet, right? Because, he doesn't listen to the opinions of people that he would never go seek advice from, which is fair. He probably shouldn't. But I will continue to give Marty St. Louis the benefit of the doubt for now. But I could also sympathize with people that are going, hey, maybe he isn't the coach to get us to where we need to be. Maybe he was good at the beginning when this team needed to develop, build a culture, build an identity to this point, and then somebody else has to finish the job. Maybe. I don't know yet. I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to push him under the bus. I think he's too smart. Also, don't forget, Marty St. Louis is a young coach. Okay? So everybody has growing pains, but everybody's got to figure them out, right? Everybody's got to figure them out. And he is going to be one that can figure it out, right? Anytime someone has doubted Marty St. Louis, he has come out and has proved them wrong. So this, in my mind, should be no different. But again, watching the Montreal Canadiens play man-to-man defense is tough. Maybe this isn't the system for this team. Because you can see it in real time when it breaks down, right? There's guys all alone, grade A chances. You can see a lot of teams. It's not even just cycling the puck down low anymore, right? They'll cycle it high. Because when you do that, you can maybe lose your man for a second. You get caught out of position, causes a breakdown, and it's ending up in the back of the net because the goalie can't make a save. And I don't think Jacob Fowler fixes any of that. He doesn't fix the defensive struggles, right? He is here to try to patch the goaltending hole. Now, here's the other conversation we have to have with Jacob Fowler. What if he plays well? Like, if he comes, he plays in Pittsburgh, gets absolutely throttled because the Montreal Canadiens are bad defensively, like, then you're like, hey, man, we tried. You know what I mean? We tried. You send him back down. Like, my expectation here is the team's going to send him back down to the AHL after this road trip and be like, hey, man, thanks for being here. Thanks for doing your part. What if he plays well? What if he plays well Thursday? Does he get a start Saturday? Like, what it like at this point, it wouldn't surprise me if Jacob Fowler stays, okay, and maybe Jacob Dobes takes a stint in the AHL just to help his confidence, just to help his game, and say, hey, man, first of all, the Laval Rocket are a good team, so he gets to go somewhere where the team plays well. And he can maybe get a couple of starts, help his confidence out. Right? There is no scenario which I believe the Montreal Canadiens would have Fowler and Dobes on the same team long term. Right? Like Sam Montembeau's here, by the way. Like, you've attached yourself to him because you need a veteran presence in goal, and it's not Capo Caco. Okay? Capo Caco's here to just help out, fill a hole. Okay? Serviceable. But, like, I would not want Fowler and Dobes in the AHL together. I don't want them to split a ton of starts. I want one goalie there to take a little bit more of the lead. I want it to be Fowler. Right? Get as close as you can to what an NHL workload would look like. That's what I would want. Now, if Dobes goes down to the AHL, splitting starts with Samuel Montembeau is fine because Monty can't, like, he can't stop the puck, right? And you're going to need him if you want to go deep in the playoffs. I'm sorry. You're going to need him. You're going to have to figure it out. Like, it's too early for Fowler to be that guy. It's too early. And again, I would have left him in the AHL and say, hey, man, the problem with the goaltending is in this room. We're going to figure it out. But that's not the choice that the Montreal Canadiens have made. They're bringing him up here. I want to see what he can do. And it's not uncommon for goalies to come up and have success. We've seen it, right? Dobes is a prime example of that. The problem is, after a little bit of time, the book comes out. teams are good. They're smart. They figure it out. They watch film. They know where your weaknesses are. They'll figure it out. It'll be the same thing for Fowler. Teams are going to figure out what they can do to get by him. It's the learning curve, and then the goalie's got to adjust. All of that makes sense, okay? But I wouldn't rule it out that if Fowler plays well, he does not go back to Laval immediately. And that maybe it's Dobeš that goes and says, hey, listen, work on your game. And then if it goes well a little bit, Fowler starts to even out, switch it up, come back up, let Fowler go down, continue to work on his game. He's a child. He's literally a child. I think he's 20. Is Fowler 20? Let me Google this. I'm pretty sure he's 20 years old. He's 21. Okay. Wait a minute. He just turned 21. Okay. So he can finally drink in the United States. You know what I mean? That's how young he is. Okay. That's how young he is. But again, I would not rule it out that he sticks with this club if it goes well. The Montreal Canadiens, if they believe that they can take that step and keep moving, you need somebody in goal to stop the puck. At this point, whoever's available. Go out there, give it your best shot. Fowler has earned this opportunity. He has. And the Montreal Canadiens are rewarding him with at least one start in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh's a tough matchup, by the way. The Pittsburgh Penguins have played well to this point. So this isn't it's not like he has to play the Buffalo Sabres, who are absolutely miserable, by the way. Just miserable. This is a tough matchup against, he's got to face Sidney Crosby, who, by the way, he was talking in an interview, right? He's been a Montreal Canadiens fan, looked up, big fan as well of the Penguins. This is I can't believe he doesn't start that game. I can't believe that he will not start against the Penguins. So this is a big moment for him. But if you're expecting him to come in and save the Montreal Canadiens, again, beachfront property in the middle of Saskatchewan, it is your name on it. The keys are on my desk. Come get it, okay? We have to temper our expectations here. And the goal should still be to try to get Sam Montembeault right. I don't know what's happening, man. I don't know. I don't know what's not working for him. But something's got to change in his game. And for Dobeš, I think it's just, a young goalie going through the emotions, right? You could see in that game against Tampa, he was, a lot of that negative body language, right? And he wears his heart on his sleeve. Let's not get it twisted. But Fowler's AHL numbers here, as you can see, are good. He has done enough. Now we got to figure out if he can hold this team afloat for a minute. And if he does, why would you send him back and do what? Let him stay here. Let him stay here until it falls apart, and then you hope it doesn't fall apart too hard. You hope that he has the mentality and the resiliency to say, hey, it's not going to be all, it's not going to be a linear development, right? It's not all unicorns and butterflies, okay? This is it's a lose-lose situation for Fowler, right? Because if he comes up and he gets slammed, it is what it is, right? If he plays well, then you're not sending him down until he gets slammed, right? It is what it is. But I have faith in him. But it starts with the Montreal Canadiens' defensive structure. That's where all of this starts. It doesn't matter who's in net. The goalie can fix it a little bit. But like I said, Jacob Dobeš, maybe he, at the beginning of the year, because he played so well, the defensive breakdowns weren't the glaring issue. Right? You were looking at Dobeš, you were looking at Montembeault, you were like, well, the problem is Montembeault. He's that bad. Well, now that both goalies are, and again, I would say for Dobeš, it's not that he's terrible. I think it's just a roller coaster. And again, he's a young goalie, man. He hasn't played 50 games in the NHL. He's a kid. He's a child. Montembeault is, at this point, it's like, are you a starting goalie or are you just a really good backup? We're starting to have to ask that question. But the Montreal Canadiens need a goalie that can make a save, and it's Jacob Fowler time in Montreal. Okay? So I'm rooting for him. I want to watch that game Thursday and see what's going on with him. Right? I want him to play well. I want him to go out there, earn his stripes. Because again, he's earned it. He has proven that he can win at multiple levels. He had a good AHL run too. They didn't win, but he had a good AHL run. So I'm excited to see what Jacob Fowler does. Again, man, a lot of these problems could be solved if the Montreal Canadiens just played better defensively, but that is a conversation for another day. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the podcast for today. As always, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me here. Thank you for being here. If you have made it this far, by all means, make sure you go check out the podcast over on YouTube, youtube.com/@slapshotpod. If you haven't followed me on X, make sure you do so at FuzzyChris91. Follow the podcast as well on X at SlapshotPodcast. You hit the link tree. Get the podcast in an audio form wherever you enjoy it. All right? Thanks for hanging out with me. I love you all. We will see each other again soon. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus. We'll see each other soon.